Welcome, the good people. You are now tuning in live and direct to the Brew Table Talkz, where we as a collective discuss topics ranging all across the board. A place where brews that are like-minded come together and build. Welcome.
Welcome, the good people. It's Leon the Servant back here at another one with my co-host Divine Liii, bringing another topic, another banger, enterprise.
Peace and blessings, my people. Peace and blessings. Hey, Brother Leon, what we talking about today? What we talking about, man?
Enterprise. That is the prize. Are we fighting for the same commission when you're supposed to be my brother? Enterprise. Enterprise, man. Had a whole poem on that, John. I should check it out. It's called Enterprise. But let's get into it, bro. Let's get into it. Greetings. Ruby, greetings. Peace and blessings. Enterprise is a topic. Hope you guys are ready for it. What are we building? What
business? What company? What corporation are we involved in? So let's go ahead and bring it out to them, man. You already know how we love to do. Saying that we improving, we expanding the business. Hey, to say the foundation is set to build righteousness, bro. So it's a blessing. Even when we talk about how can we improve the community, and then we can expand on saying, hey, I have a service, I have a product I can provide for my people that will be greatly used to not just for a profit, but just to inspire the community to be the best that we could be. So, bro, I'm ready to bring this one out. I don't know about you, but right. This is personal.
I mean, yo, you already know. Kick it off with let's just kick it off with the agenda of the stream for the day. Let's bring it up. So today's agenda, right, is what is enterprise? How do we create our own enterprise? The price of ownership and business models. What do we follow after? Who do we join to? What examples do we follow? So I'm going to leave it to Divine Liii to kick it off with a definition to get a closer insight on how we really view the word enterprise.
Yeah, no. And of course, y'all know how I like to do it. Just like to give y'all that definition. What does enterprise even mean? Well, hey, say we got access to all this information just by going online or opening up a dictionary. You can see what this word truly means, which is a project of undertaking. Typically one that is difficult or requires effort. A business or a company, a commercial operation, something that you can provide a service or a product for, you know? So, hey, let's identify what enterprise we're a part of. What business are you in, Brother Leon?
Bro, it's very interesting that you said undertaking. Something that you put under your wings. And how do we move forward in these commercial industries? Where do we find the brotherhood that we need to build up these conglomerates? I mean, this is just some of the beginning questions of what it truly means to the undertaking. And I know you have some synonyms that you want to bring out to the people.
You already know, man. You already know, so we could get a better comprehension of what enterprise actually entails. And just on this channel, when we're doing these talks, I would want to bring forth all the intellectual information that we need to identify what's best for us, literally as a community. And when we over here engaging in topics like this, the best thing is to know what truly is enterprise. And so, breaking it down, finding the definitions, finding synonyms, and saying that a couple of them, a corporation, a shop, an industry, an organization, or a partnership, enterprise is the process of exchanging information, goods, or services for returns on investments. So it's like, what do you invest in? What do you get out of your shop, out of your industry, out of your partnership?
What do we consider to be an enterprise?
Ooh, hey, brother.
I mean, an enterprise, if it's an investment of future returns, what are we creating? What are we destroying with the information, the goods, and the services that we have? Because everything that we touch essentially is a part of our corporation, is a part of our enterprise. So how do we build it?
Who can we go to? Who is the leader of business?
Who's our role model?
Exactly, bro. Exactly. Like, who are we learning from? And you would think that you go to school to learn how to start your own business or to learn how to run your own enterprise. But more importantly, you should be able to learn how to sustain yourself and learn what makes you happy in this world, that you can present. What information can you exchange for your return on investments? And so when we really look at it, who's leading in the business industry? Who's the one guiding us to perform in a way where we provide services or products? And that is the model correction of how we should do it.
It's pivotal. And you know what? A lot of people talk about enterprise and things of that sort, but they don't talk about the undertaking of enterprise. So let's build on that undertaking. What is the cost of ownership? What does it really mean to own something? Right? Let's break down ownership real quick. To own something means you take full accountability of what happens afterwards. So what are we accounting for when we're building up these relationships, these corporations, these businesses? Who are we being led by? What are your liabilities that you're willing to take? Because every business has a sediment of risk involved in it. And it's very important that when we say that we want to build enterprise, that we say that we want to build something, a legacy, generational wealth, that we understand that there is a mass amount of responsibility. The cost of ownership is not cheap. The cost of making our own means that we put in the hours, we put in the days, we put in the time of elevating our craft, our skills, to make sure that this enterprise that we're building adds value. You know what I mean, Lee?
That's a huge topic, bro. When you really, everybody say, hey, I'm going to be an independent entrepreneur, but do you even talk about the cost? And do you talk about the responsibility you have to uphold? Do you talk about the days that you have to literally get up in the morning and not get paid for the type of service that you want to do because nobody even knows about your business? How do you even operate knowing I have to pay a cost? And is that cost even worth it? So it's like, who's over here really teaching the people? Or in a sense, where's the best model of saying, hey, I started a business from the ground up? And what does it truly mean to start a business from the ground up when you have access to information, resources, and possibly the people who can help you expand. But in this day and age and community, when as a people, how can you really say that we are actually progressing when what can we say that we own? What can you say that we produce as a people? So,
Very true.
what are we
And
building?
that brings us to the questions of the CEO. Of, well, if we're asking what we're building, how do we build it? Who do you employ? What is the vision of this enterprise? Who is your clientele? Who are the people who's actually going to find value in what you're providing? And where do you acquire your resources? These are questions that every business must sit down and ask. And this is the stuff, the nitty gritty that people don't want to hear or even think of when they're talking about building an enterprise. They don't think about the mental models that they're going to have to impose. Well, are you going to have a business that's going to hire anyone? So that means that people without the vision who can't really understand where you're going, is that going to be a part of your fold? What is your vision? Or are you going to let someone else apart or trying to help you form it for you? Who's your clientele? Or is you trying to reach everybody, or you're trying to reach certain individuals? Because, hey, you can be generic and reach a lot of people, or you can be genuine and reach the important people. How do you acquire these resources? What principles are you going to use to gain what you need to leverage your enterprise forward? These are the questions of a CEO. These are the questions of an independent enterprise, of an entrepreneur. And these are the questions that have the most importance in building an enterprise. What do you stand on? Who are you following? What business model do you have in mind?
Hey, brother. And so my thing is, I'm looking at today age and knowing that the country we literally live in was built off of a corporation, of a product, of a service from a certain demographic of people that didn't get any return on their investments. But as you can see, this land of greatness is able to not only be a world leader, but in some sense, people look at it as being the model for business. But it's like, do we really identify the foundations that the business started on?
Important questions. And that leads us right next to the next main talking point: business models. We're talking about enterprise. Let's get into the nitty gritty of it. How do you structure your business? Or when we talk about this nation, what was this nation built upon? The shedding of blood, the false keeping of promises. Is that you're going to be your business model? Are you going to be in this cutthroat society that you think that you can only stab people in the back to move forward? Is that how you're going to be? Is that what your business is going to be known for? Are they going to look at you and be like, oh yeah, don't mess with him because he'll stab you in the back? He's a very malicious entity. Who's going to be your leader? Who are you going to follow after? Are you going to follow the principles of morals? Or are you going to be compromised by the system of trying to make profit, of being degraded for money, mammon? Because I could tell you this, all my business is the Father's business.
Amen.
That's what I'm trying to follow my role model after. That's who I'm trying to create. Luke 2:49. Why do you seek me? Did you not know that I must be about my Father's business? How does this magnify the Most High? How does this magnify my principles and the things that I stand on? Those are questions I have.
Man, just expand on that. Say that you are in business. What is even being about your Father's business? How would you take that and try to involve that in your partnerships of products and services?
How would I take that? Well, look at this. The Most High has principles. The Most High has standards, statutes. There's things in that book that tells us exactly how we're supposed to act amongst our brothers, amongst enterprise, amongst ourselves. There's even working models of how not to overwork ourselves, right? We have the thing called the Sabbath, a day of rest. We have feast days, right? Days of relaxing, being able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. We have principles about building business upon our and around our brethren so we can't oppress them. Because that's our clientele. That's a bad business model. You can't oppress the people that you're trying to support. And this is why we need to look at these enterprises that are in our communities, and are they really supporting us, or are they trying to make a profit off of us as a cash cow?
Bro, hey, that takes me to that one poem you wrote talking about the it's only two industries that call their clients users. Hey, why would you
poem users?
Man, why would you look at anybody as a user who's supporting your business?
And you know what? I could pose the same question to you. How do you make the Most High your business model? You have your business, faith and desire. Talk about it. Bring it out. Huh?
As you can hear, I grabbed those words from the book itself. And knowing that I wanted to build on something that was righteous. I wanted to build on a foundation that was sturdy. I wanted to build on, first and foremost, the Most High giving me the insight to even have a creative mindset. And with that being said, how can I expand on a righteous business without thinking about the Most High and saying that, honestly, I was doing my products and services out of love and joy of me actually having this talent. And when it really get into the real world aspect, I understood, hey, this talent can be used as a business. And so it was more so an inspiration than of a profit. And to look at life and say, hey, I'm inspired to live because I have a passion and I have a talent that I want to expand on. And then it's like, after that comes the fruits of your abundance, because it's just like, you're not doing this for money. You're doing it for joy. You're doing it for the love of actually providing the service.
Then would you say that your intent behind your business was different than the intent behind modern business? The intent to share something that you hold a vast interest in, a passion. He was like, you know what? I could share this with the people. And that's where your business started from. That's where true enterprise after the Most High can be found in. Not how do I make money? Because we know the Most High provides. We understand that.
Always.
So that's a very interesting thing when you really think about, what is your motive for starting your enterprise? Is it to make money? Well, there's a lot of ways to make money. There's a lot of wicked ways to make fast money. But there's not a lot of righteous ways to make fast money. So you have to mean, if you want anything to be morally integral, then it's going to take time. It's going to take patience. And sometimes you're going to just have to lean that the fact that it's a passion. It's not for cash. It's not for money. The prophets spoke not for a profit. Keep that in mind.
Hey, that's deep.
Let's bring out the scripture real quick. Let's build on this real quick. Right. Thus saith the Lord of hosts. This is Jeremiah 29, verses 4-7. The God of Israel, unto all that are carried away captives. Because, hey, America ain't it. There's a lot of issues that we have in America. We could say a lot of people here are captive to some way, shape, or form. Either it's by the government, it's by new mandates, it's by social norms. A lot of people are captive in some way, shape, or form to wherever they are. So let's keep building. Who I've caused to be carried away from Jerusalem unto Babylon. Build ye houses and dwell in them, and plant gardens and eat the fruit of them. Take ye wives and begat sons and daughters, and take wives for your sons, and give your daughters to husbands, that they may bear sons and daughters, that you may be increased there and not diminished. And seek the peace of the city whither I have caused you to be carried away captives, and to pray unto the Lord for it. For in the peace thereof shall ye have peace. The Most High is simply saying that just because the predicament, the environment that you're in is not ideal, doesn't mean that you're not supposed to prosper. And that doesn't mean you're not supposed to increase. What's your thoughts on that?
And I just want to build on that with enterprise literally having a synonym of partnership. What are you in partnership with? When you build in a house, when you tending to the land and bringing forth fruits to feed your family, like you're literally in partnership with nature. You're literally saying, hey, yeah, not one man can build a house. That is a huge structure. You need a community of people to join in on this enterprise, corporation, business, partnership. So it's like the Bible lays out how you should deal with one another. And when you really think about it, if you're moving in the spirit, and if you have a righteous partnership, it's nothing but peace. Because then you know that the counterpart that you're working with is going to fulfill their job. You just got to tend to the land. The fruit's going to come.
And that brings the aspect that your enterprise also deals with family. Your enterprise, like I said earlier, is everything that you touch, everything that you invest in. And when you start to look at your relationship to be more than just a romantic one, but something that can help not just build yourself, but each other, and glorify morals and principles that are far beyond you, to be an example, a good business model on others, that speaks volumes. A family can do much more than one individual, and their interests, their intent is on one accord, because that family, a good family, isn't going to go against each other. Bring it out. Bring it out.
Let me hit on that with you, bro. And to say that I found my family and we don't have the same blood, but in a sense that we all connected in the spirit and we can build towards a common goal. And it's not just my hands putting down these bricks to build this kingdom. It's multiple. So when we move in with our family, the job literally becomes easier. The business becomes more fruitful because we have more hands to tend to the product, the service at hand. And it's like this day and age, do people literally come together with their family and say, hey, we got an enterprise idea? And you can literally see certain businesses that are family owned, that are put in our communities, where they have certain goals and intentions. And hey, are they to benefit us as a people as a whole? When you're doing shopping at other big corporations, where does that money go? What's the intent behind why they even started their business? So we really got to look at it as a family ordeal and know that when we out here trying to make a profit, yeah, but are we putting our passion towards building family units, making sure that the enterprise and that the money and that the fruits stays within the community, so that when we are able to get of age, we're not saying, hey, just go get a job from somewhere else
You
or
can
go
find a
work
job.
for this other person. You feel me? Like,
Bro, let me
why are we
build
going to
something
school
out
to
real
work
quick.
for other people, bro?
Let's really elaborate on this family being enterprise. Let's think this real quick. If one individual makes 50,000 a year, right? Not a lot of money, barely scraping by, right? Has a wife, she makes 50,000 a year. Now that household brings in 100,000. Now you went from not making a lot of money to making a decent income, right? Now let's say you have two sons or daughters, whoever, and they get older and they decide to stay in the house because they don't have anywhere to go right now. So they said, let's build a family. And they work part-time jobs and they bring in an additional 20,000 each. So that's 40K onto the 100K that's coming into the house. So that's $140,000. Right now, after taxes, let's say they tear away and they eat away at your money. So let's bring it down to 90K, right? So after all expenses is paid and after everything is done, because one person's responsibility could be paying one bill, another person's responsible paying another bill. How much more money can you liquidate? And now what can you do with that money? Imagine how many things you can invest in. If family decide to stick together, or when we make our families, we decide to pool our money in together. That's how Black Wall Street became a thing. Families pooling money together. That's how the what is that name? The Black Panthers became so important because they had communities pooling money together. They had families working together. I mean, Ak, I know you brought out the Willie Lynch letters and how they destroyed the family union. Why do you think they did that? They do that because it destroys your enterprise capabilities.
Speak on it, brother. Speak on it, man.
So family is definitely important.
Creation or destruction. And I brought out that letter because it was pivotal to this conversation, saying what foundations is this country's business built off of? And was it inspired by passion of an ideal, or used to literally just gain a profit? And then it's like, if that's the case, can we identify what is righteous? Can we say that if this country did gain off of slavery, is it right that we still support it? And not only support it, but look up to the people that are still running the system as leaders. And as they give us instructions and try to educate us, how valuable is their education, especially in business, where if they can't even tell you how they started their business righteous way, all I can say is, hey, somebody else worked for me, I enslaved them, and yeah, that's it. But when you have people who are passionate about what they do and actually, are expressing their God-given talents, it isn't about a profit. It's about them actually loving what they do. So who can speak from this center of peace, loving what they do, and actually gaining fruits from it?
Most definitely. I want to highlight a comment I saw real quick, and it's from Ruby. Let me bring it up. And it says, our youth needs to be taught the taboo stuff that we were not taught with visual learning and role playing now that we are all awake. It's very interesting. When you talk about that and building these enterprises, information is key. How can you become financially literate if no one is there to teach you? Those things are taboo in a lot of households because guess what? Most household leaders don't know how to be financially literate. They tell you the model that they were suppressed and told to do: go to school, get a job, and from that education, that job will provide. And that's it. Then go live the American so-called dream. Go keep up with the Joneses and buy the newest things to have these things accommodate you. That's all. And that's the fastest way to destroy enterprise. Information is key, just as key as action. It says a man with no vision shall perish. Well, how can you have the vision if you have no insight, no wisdom? So that's
Hey,
very key.
and let me touch on that comment as well. And just like you said, if you don't have vision, how can we really teach if you're not able to see it? And using these platforms like YouTube, StreamYard, and we're able to bring forth graphics and making sure that, hey, we can expand on the visual aspect as well. We're able to create designs and graphics and talking points that all come together to teach our children to say that this is a business. Sharing information is literally a partnership of sharing how to grow. And so when we are able to get on these platforms and share each other's passions, literally give information back and forth behind the scene, what you think we be doing? And it's like we literally share information on how to expand. But when you really get to the identifying what corporation we're working for, what enterprise, what partnership we're in and supporting, certain ones don't want you to fully be you. And how profitable is that if you're in a world that doesn't want you to be you to the fullest? Will you be able to live the life that you want? Will you be able to actually reap the full benefits that God put out for you? And if you over here working for somebody else's business, is that really what you want to do? Would you be at peace knowing that you help support a system of slavery?
And that's why it's important to work on networking, right? Getting in contact. Hey, you guys want to get in contact with me, y'all can do that by reaching out on IG. It's in the description. I'll put it in the description box. Same thing with Divine Liii. Tap into those individuals that you see is going that direction that you want to go, that has the principles that you have. And hey, there's nothing wrong with working in the business as long as you can accept their business model. Because granted, not everyone can be a leader. Not everyone wants to be the head honcho. That's cool. But what are you putting your energy into? What are you supporting? That's very crucial. Very crucial. On what are you building? Are you building on things that have innocent blood on their hands or that have corrupt moral principles? This is an important thing about enterprise because enterprise becomes a brand. Enterprise becomes who you are. Enterprise becomes, every time I see that face, I associate it with that. That's what a uniform is for.
Preach.
To show you that brand. Every time I see Divine Liii, I think faith and desire. Because that's what his enterprise is. I think of someone who follows the Most High. That's his enterprise. That's his model. And that's important to think about when we are moving in enterprise, when we're building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, I got a scripture for him.
Bring them out.
2nd Chronicles. Man. And it's a blessing to be able to correlate just even expanding your business life and having the Most High able to work alongside you. But when we identify what really business is, as we brought out in synonyms, it's a partnership. So, using the scriptures to identify what partnership you're in is going to help you have vision on how your business will grow. And Second Chronicles 13 kind of did this for me when I was like able to identify, hey, there are certain people who do certain types of businesses. Have ye not cast out the priests of the Lord, the sons of Aaron and the Levites, and have made you priests after the manner of the nations of other lands? So that whosoever cometh to consecrate himself with a young bullock and 7 rams, the same may be a priest of them that are no gods. You mean to tell me if I'm in partnership doing things that are backwards in doctrine, I have no business plan that is rooted in God? And to say that God says, let there be light, be fruitful and multiply, I have no connection with that word. So verse 10, but as for us, the Lord is our God, and we have not forsaken him. And the priests which minister unto the Lord are the sons of Aaron, and the Levites wait upon their business. So when we doing this word and this preaching and saying that, hey, we're actually standing on God principles with our business, people are waiting for us to say, I'm ready. I'm ready to exchange information. I'm ready to join the partnership. I'm ready to make known my support of the message. So what are we building? Literally, when we over here trying to grow our business, are we identifying how we're being a model for people and knowing that the type of service that we provide is something that individuals need and will seek you out?
Hey, what principles do we stand on? Let's bring out that script. I forgot exactly verse and chapter, but I know everyone listening knows what I'm talking about. The house built upon sand, or the house built upon the hill? When a storm comes and gets tested and tried, the house upon the sand is washed away, but the one on the hill is preserved.
Mm.
And we need to understand that when we're thinking about enterprise, your integrity, your moral integrity, your business models, how you're moving in these streets, who hands you're shaking, all plays a factor on where your house is. Is it on the hill or is it in the sand? What connections you're making. One bad connection can make a landslide, and now you're back on the sand because you've done shady practices.
Mm.
So now when you're under the fire from press, or you're being judged by the Most High, by the press, or you have money, financial problems, you don't have that hill no more. You don't have that advantage no more. And let's talk about different types of enterprise, right? Because there's all different types. People think that they have to only be the frontier businesses. What I mean by that is they think that, hey, I have to be a commodity type of business. For instance, they think that they need to be the only ones that could produce fabrics. Not saying we don't need fabrics. Fabrics is dope. We need that. They say, I can only do enterprise if I have a talent in music. Not saying we don't need music. Music is inspirational. Saying that I can only do business if I can shoot nice videos. Not saying we don't need videos. Videos are informational. We do need all those things that I said. But enterprise can be, I build a business off of distribution, making sure that all these services are getting out. Very vital, very important enterprise. That's a very important thing. That's one thing that Israel don't have. That's one thing that Black business don't have. You want to start a business that's highly needed, build a business off of distribution, of getting these warehouses set up so that these businesses can lower the rate of how much they charge for shipping and handling. That's necessary. Let's talk about businesses like websites. I mean, we have a special guest that we're bringing up shortly, dealing with websites, dealing with getting our names out there. And I'm not talking the aspect of just publications, but being able to have a website where you can go and get righteous information, where you can get righteous poetry. I mean, this is enterprise. Enterprise is everything that you touch. We're ambassadors of heaven. Everything that we touch is an enterprise. It has our name on it, so it has importance on how we deal with it. And don't limit your idea to having to be in the front. If the idea is necessary, it adds value to those people, to your clientele, and that's important. That's important. And I just really wanted to hit on that for that one individual that has an idea and they think that they can't make it a business out of it. It starts with passion. And if you're passionate about it, someone else is passionate about it. And that passion could definitely be appreciated by someone else. There's a market for anything. People are out here selling makeup. People are out here selling likes. People are out here selling their bodies. People are out here selling everything. So trust and believe there's a market for the righteous. And it's so much broader because it's only beneficial to the people who consume it. It cannot self-degradate. So know this, that enterprise, that business, that corporation that you want to start, if it adds value, there's people who will definitely sow into you. There's people who will definitely benefit from you.
Hey, and that's real. And just the aspect of being live and direct, especially when sharing information, it adds a different aspect to the business, to the enterprise, to the partnership. Having someone able to show up and shake your hand and say, hey, I got you on this, and we're going to make this happen. We're exchanging this information out of passion because we know that this is something that we love doing. And I'm going to show up regardless. And when you have somebody working with you like that, the business can only grow because you both working and you both expanding. And like you said, someone's going to want to sow into it. Someone else out there in the world is passionate about what you're passionate about. And when I think of business, the things that come to my mind just on the cliche part is everybody's going to need a house. Everybody's going to want food. And everybody's going to need clothes. So being able to be involved in those businesses as a community, being able to say, hey, I can provide housing, I can provide food, and I can provide raiment. Those are enterprises that do we truthfully have control over, or are we going to outsource those in different communities that have a foundation of principles that go against ours?
And we build on that. Just like there's everyone wants a house. You could build a house. Where are you getting your lumber from? Where are you getting your furniture from? Just like everyone wants food. Well, what farm are you getting your food from? How are those animals being slaughtered? How are they being taken care of? Are they being pumped with GMO? Just like everyone wants clothing, back to distribution. How are you getting those clothing? How are you getting those fabrics? Do they have practicals? That's what I'm saying. This enterprise is expansive, building a legacy, building generational wealth, building national wealth. We need business on all spectrums.
Yes, sir.
If it's supposed to be all money in, no money out, that means that we have to learn how to do everything. We can't rely on convenience of someone else providing us everything. That's how we create an enterprise.
Most def. And
I
then
want to
I
bring
like
up.
how you highlighted many different
Go ahead.
businesses. I said I like how you highlighted many different businesses because during this day and age, without our cell phone, to say that those little pieces of technology provided us to experience business at a whole nother level. Where you said you could sell likes, you could literally sell music now. And a shout out to our special guest. You can sell websites. So it's like these are other partnerships, other businesses, corporations that we can share our information on and expand and grow. And having the principles of the Most High, we're able to say, this is something that I'm passionate about, and I'm moving in peace, and I'm just being fruitful and multiplying. Who's next?
True. But I want to highlight something else too, real quick. These ideas are only worth as much as the execution behind them. An enterprise is not built off of just ideas and principles. That's the stuff that you use, but they require action. Enterprise is all about action. Your results, the fruit that you bear. So it's cool that we have this foundation. You need a strong foundation. If not, you will fall. But you also need the action. So I call everyone to action that wants to start an enterprise, a project of undertaking, to start now, to move now, because it is needed. If you want Kwam Yasharala, you want the rise of the people, that requires work. That requires diligence. They say the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. That's the enterprise of the Most High. So how much more work do you think there's going to be in an enterprise of bringing out principles of the Most High in your business? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
You feel me?
Well, I want to bring on our special guest real quick because he's another brother with enterprise. And I think it would be beneficial for people to see someone who took that passion and brought it to fruition.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So let's bring on our guest, Jamonte.
Brother Jamonte. Shalom, shalom, family. What it do? What it do?
Shalom. How y'all doing?
Man,
Doing well.
Great.
That's what's up. Well, it's
So-
a blessing to be on the show. Thanks for having me.
Most definitely.
No
Most
props.
definitely.
No props.
So if you don't mind, Jamonte, tell the people about your product of peace and poetry.
So, Peace and Poetry, that's like that's a project that's been under the work for almost 2 years now. This April will be 2 years that I've been working on that. And so basically for me, kind of like you talked about in one of your videos, I've had poetry as like something I would kind of do on the side on my own time. It's not necessarily anything that I would share. And so I just got the conviction to share it, but it took until everything closing down where I was to actually, have the time to make the time to put that effort forth. And but going into that, it really allowed me to share the poetry, and it really allowed me to realize a lot of other skills and talents that I had that I didn't even know that I had.
Ooh, that's a great topic. So are you saying that by pursuing your passion, right, that it allowed and opened up doors for new skills and new opportunities?
Yeah. I never would have, like everything I'm doing now, if you would have asked me 3 years ago, never would have saw myself doing this stuff.
Now, can you just elaborate on some extra skills that you acquired from pursuing this passion?
Right. So, like, Peace and Poetry started out, it was literally just writing poetry. That's all I was doing in like a journal. Starting up the website. Well, first I had to start the website. And so I did that. It was pretty bad starting out. But over time, I learned how to use the platform that I was using, in this case, WordPress. And so it really taught me how to do that initial web design. It taught me how to do a logo, because I developed my own logo for the website. I developed my own business cards. I had, like in Washington State, I had like drawstring bags and everything with the logo that I would kind of hand out to people. And so it took me down that route of graphic design. It took me, really, it took me down the route of really being able to build my own skills as far as like organization goes and project management and stuff like that. Being able to do all of these different things and figure out where to allocate my time and resources. Right now, it's brought me to the point of doing in-depth web development. And so, like I said, 2 years ago, I never would have thought that I'd be doing web development, not just web design, but all the back end stuff. And that's ultimately what has led me to. And so, in addition to that, I built like 2-3 websites. So
that's dope. So let's build on that real quick, guys. Essentially, when you chase after these passions of the Most High, right, that He's put in you, you have these talents. We all know the parable of the talents and how one servant was given 5 and he multiplied it to 5. And one was given 2 and he multiplied it to 2. And then there was the one who hid it in the dirt and he was considered wicked. So let's bring this out. You had one talent, and that was poetry. Then you was able to multiply that talent to web design and working in the back. That just shows that one talent can open up the door to many other talents. That's building that enterprise. And that's something else I wanted to bring out, was that when you start your own enterprise, you're going to probably be the only one. So that means you're going to have to learn the business very intimately, which will make you a better leader. Because now, I'm not saying to put Jamante on the spot, but Jamante has the capabilities to teach this to someone else because he had to do it all on his own. He's like, I can show you this, and I can show you that. As soon as you acquire a skill, you're adequate to teach the skill. And because he had to start this enterprise on his own, it allowed him to push forward much more fruits. Quick question. How do people get in contact with Peace and Poetry, the whole 9 yards, your IG? Let them know. I'm going to put it in the description box as well. But tell them kind of what you got going on for people who are interested.
So for me, Peace and Poetry, it's turning into a place where pretty soon I will be I'm hoping to have more people who are poets, who are writing truth content, spiritual poetry, I call it, to have their work on the website. And so, as you gentlemen know, like, you two have submitted work to the website, and that, so I appreciate your support. You two are artists as well. So right now, as far as that website goes, one of the big things with web development, or one of the big things with business in general, is that you have to be willing to, just step out there and do stuff. And if you do encounter setbacks, it's not necessarily a failure. It's a learning experience. And so, as I mentioned to you gentlemen earlier, Peace and Poetry, I was doing some back-end web development stuff. And so right now I'm doing some maintenance and troubleshooting on the website. So currently right now, it's not up, but the website is peaceandpoetry.com. Hopefully it'll be up by the end of the week, God willing. In the meantime, I have another website. It's called pathwayspub.com. And so as far as getting in contact with me, you can get in contact with me there. On that website, you can also see kind of some of the things that I can help you with. So that website is geared more towards technical writing. And if people do have particular business ideas, but they just don't know where to get started, I mean, we can talk about those types of things. So
dope. And just to let you guys know, I have submitted 2 poems that I have not released on YouTube on Peace and Poetry. Those are exclusive to Peace and Poetry, and there will be more in the future, right? I haven't decided which poems I have because I do want to make sure I'm supplying you guys, but there's some things that don't need to be said, they just need to be read. And you definitely want to find more of that at Peace and Poetry. So I just wanted to shout that out real quick.
Appreciate that.
Divine Liii, you have anything you want to question our guest on?
Man, I just want to send the highest praises, highest honor, shout out to this man that's putting in work. And bro, like you said, you didn't even want to show it to people, but it was like you were doing it though. And that's kind of like, I can relate to that, because it's like, if you are moving in a sense of your passion, and it's like you're very intimate, you're personal about what you do, people shy away from stuff like that as being a real business idea. But we as a people, once we get around our community and know that, hey, it's good to support somebody who's passionate about something, because something can grow from that. And to say that business is a partnership, I'm honored and blessed to be in partnership with a great man as Jamonte, who's starting to change the narrative of, hey, everybody's life just by having this platform of Peace and Poetry. So, brother, to say I'm blessed to even be on this conversation panel with you, and knowing that the greatness to come is just a little seed of faith, and is going to grow a corporation, probably Fortune 500, where we looking back at this podcast and saying, bro, man, how can you really truthfully know what business is if you don't have one yourself? And you are an example of that. And you not only coming from a foundation of righteousness, it's like you're in it for your passion, and that's what needs to be expressed. So I thank you. I tip my hat to you, brother, because it ain't hard. I mean, it is hard. It's very hard to show people something that you're passionate about, and for them to support you, because we live in a day and age where it's like, I'd rather, look the other way than to see somebody happy about something. But
right,
it's different now when you surround yourself in a community with people who have the same intents behind their passion with you. So it's like we can all join together and literally build that foundation of righteousness and help each other expand. So, man.
Right. I actually wrote a poem this morning about peace and poetry. If you guys don't mind, I can throw it on here.
I mean, if you want to share, go ahead.
All right, cool. So about peace and poetry. Born of brokenness and words unspoken, this anxiety, this depression, this longing, this obsession. And writing's my main form of expression, releasing thoughts instead of suppression. The feelings I feel, I don't understand. It's like wandering around. Yah, oh Yah, take my hand. Let me be like you are. Mercy me, oh great I am. One thing is true, of this I know, whether rhyme or prose, words are for the soul.
Hey.
But that's just I guess it's just like a free sample. I'm hoping to get the website back up, man. It's like,
I mean, yeah, we got big plans. We got big plans for that. So most definitely, Jamonte, it's been a pleasure having you on. A pleasure to build on you. with enterprise and everything of the like, and to show people an example of an individual who is able to understand the principles that they're willing to stand on. And because of the circumstance, they did not look at it to doom them, but they took it as a chance to show those talents, to show those gifts, and to stand on what they believe on. So I also tip off my hat to you, Jamante, because it is a pleasure on the eyes to see people can build, and there's a market and a place for anything of righteousness.
Amen.
I appreciate both you gentlemen.
All
Everything
right,
you're doing for the kingdom.
most definitely.
Yeah.
All right, shalom and peace.
All right. Shalom. Peace.
Shalom.
And that was our brother Jamante, man. We're always here to build. And hey, if anyone else wants to come up on the live in the future about a topic, it's more than welcome. Reach out. We're here to build an enterprise of thoughts, questions, and action, most importantly. I mean, I see that we've had Mark the Messenger in here. Salute, brother. Ruby, Sky is not the limit. Israel was in here. Salute to all the people who have decided to join in on the stream. Violet Black, Shy Blood Before Dishonor. Salute, salute, salute. It's a blessing to be able to build with you guys. It definitely is. It definitely is. Now I want to open up questions. What do you guys have questions on Enterprise? I know we got a few people watching. I know we touched on some things. Maybe we can elaborate on a few more things. Even Lee, bro, if you have anything that you want to express and touch on, let's keep going. Let's keep building.
Man, I'm just still feeding off the energy of brother Jamante coming through, man. And for his story to sound very similar to how I was looking at my business, my partnership. And I didn't truly want to express it because I felt like it was just so personal. Yeah, I had a passion for it, but it was like I never really thought about gaining a profit from it. And in this day and age, it's like I was literally looking at a profit as, something that was bad. But as I was getting more and more involved in the word and saying, hey, God gave me talents for a reason. God gave me these business ideas literally for a reason.
Man,
And to say that I didn't even think about gaining monetary values from it. I was just doing it because I was passionate about it. Jamante was just writing poetry because he was passionate about it. We all have a foundation saying we were just passionate about what we were doing. And then it literally multiplied. Now we're able to stand in front of people and teach what we're passionate about and have that leadership foundation of saying we can give you instructions on how to build an enterprise from the given information that we've obtained from our passion. So it just puts everything in a whole new light, man.
Ooh, okay. And I want to elaborate on that whole. You never came in here for monetary value. Now I'm not going to tell you that you shouldn't try to make a living, because, bro, we should be plentiful. We should be able to build. I hope Divine Liii is able to come back with this connection. I want to keep building though, real quick. Jamante mentioned the video that I published, and that video was hold up, let's remove this. Let's do this. All right, brother, you're back.
Yeah, my bad, man. I'm back in there, man.
Cool. I want to keep going real quick because I had something. That I had a video that I was speaking about, and the video that I did was actually the beginning of the year, if I'm correct. And I said, people, I'm sorry, because I've been holding back my talents just because I didn't think that they were adequate enough, because I didn't have it to the level that I wanted to be at. And that was a disservice not only to you, but it was a disservice to me, because how can I grow without showing it, getting the criticism, getting the things that can help me. Well, when Jamonte said that he would build his website, right? And that website opened the doors for new skills. I've became more comfortable with editing because of my poetry. Because I had to learn how to edit my voice. Which now with my videos, I'm starting to edit more. Like that opened a door, and it's opened up plenty of other doors as well. But this whole spirit, I want to cast off the spirit to anyone who has it on that your gifts is not good enough. Because how do you know if you did not try? How do you know if you did not spread it? How do you know if you never started the enterprise? And don't compare your beginning to someone else's middle. Don't do that. Just because you're at where you are, 9 times out of 10, the people that you look up to, the people that you aspire to, they are 10 years, 5 years, 3 years into it. Don't be prideful and think that you're supposed to be there when you just started. Doesn't mean you can't surpass where they are or what you aspire your expectations to be, but don't let your mind get all heady and thinking that you can't do it or what you are right now is inadequate. Did the Most High look at you and say you're inadequate, or did he say, let's build you up? So have the same intensity and same passion for your dreams. Just wanted to bring that out. I hope that message resonated with somebody real quick. I felt it when you was talking about, when Jamonte talking about it. Yeah, that talent thing definitely been on my mind. It was definitely on my mind when I was holding things back. Now I just released the levies. You know what I mean? I got something special coming out for the people soon too. Some things behind the scenes. Ruby is touching on one of them right there. Well, she says she wanted just a reminder of the Hebrew study and to read some books together with the Bible, so that we can build together as Brews. And I think I got something. I think I got something for anyone else who wants to build with me. I got something for you guys. Just give me another week or two. Give me another week or two. I got something special cooking up behind the scenes, and I think you're going to enjoy it. That's enterprise right there. That's enterprise. Always constantly building, growing. You know what I mean, Will? That's what we here for.
Hey, you already know what I say, man. You already know what my motto is, what I'm building up on. And that's just being able to share my story and knowing that God put inside everybody a talent. What do you do with it? God put inside everybody a business idea. Well, how do you operate it? What's your principles? How do you start it? And my thing is looking at Jamonte, looking at you, brother, and looking at myself and knowing that we are literally starting from the ground. And if you're planning something, guess what you got to do? You got to dig up some dirt. You feel me? Your hands gonna be dirty. You know, you got to mix the cement up. You got to make sure you packing the bricks. Like, you have to make the materials first before you even start building the structure. So like you were saying, it's not going to be all pretty, man. It's not going to look good because you literally got to get dirty to build. But when we're talking about a partnership, when we're talking about a corporation, do we realize the aspect of building the foundation and how ugly the process is, how long we have to stay up and gather information? When we even doing these talks, they don't know what goes on behind the scenes of us being up here and talking for an hour on this information where, hey, if you really knew that this is 10 plus hours of communication, sharing information back and forth, where we're creating the designs and the platform and the things that go into
man. The back end
exchange of, man, the partnership is, we have to put forth effort
the
first and
behind the
foremost.
scenes.
Yeah.
And I want to let me build on that real quick. So for those who want to build an enterprise, right? and you're starting at the bottom, like I said earlier, you're going to have to touch and learn a lot of different skills because you're going to be the only one or the first one to start this business. Unless you have maybe a partnership, but still, even with a partnership, there's going to be a lot of skills that you're going to have to learn because you're at the beginning. So I'm over here working on trying to make things better for my channel. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start taking up editing. Oh man, the amount of work that has increased just to provide more value, it's crazy. It is crazy. It's practically multiplied by 5 times the amount of time and energy it takes. And that's what it takes to build an enterprise. Sometimes you're going to have to put in a lot of grueling hours. So do not be discouraged when building your empire. You're building your enterprise, and it takes a lot of time. I say this: become very well versed in whatever field that you are in. Know what works best. There's a thing called the 80-20 rule. And what that is means that you do 20% of the work that gives you 80% of value. There's certain things that you can do, certain little tricks and tips and hacks that you can do that will elevate you to a higher status without having you to do the most amount of work until you get everything required so that you can tap into that extra 20%. You get what I mean? By doing the additional amount of work. But you need to learn how to optimize the information and start to leverage it in your enterprise. And it's going to take work.
Yes,
it's going to take work. Don't think it's going to be sweet. Don't think it's going to be sweet. Just coming in here and you think that you're just going to be able to do whatever you want. Nah, it's going to take some work. For creation or destruction, it's all in the palms of your hands. It's going to take work. It's like your little baby. You got to swaddle it. You got to feed it. You got to tend to it. It's going to take work. But don't lose the vision that that baby is supposed to grow into a full-fledged adult. So make sure that along the way, you're doing and instilling everything that's necessary to catapult and launch that. That's why we're talking about faulty business practices and why it's important to avail them like the plague. Because you do not want to be associated with that. You do not want your reputation to be destroyed. It's much easier to build a reputation than to have to rebuild a reputation. Repeat, it's easier to have a reputation than to have to rebuild a reputation. Man, you're telling me some business was known for stealing from their clientele and they're trying to go on a flip? I don't want no association with that business. That could have been 10 years ago. I don't care. That's a possibility. Their reputation is squandered because of how they built, who they led, what their models were. So that's very crucial, very important. Watch who you have in your circle. Watch who you associate with. Because if you don't, your reputation, your brand will crumble. It will crumble.
Be very aware who you in partnerships with. And knowing that, hey, I'm surrounding my people who walking in the faith, man. I'm surrounding myself with people who actually put in that effort and not afraid to get their hands dirty. And in a way, when I say get your hands dirty, is to know that it's gonna hurt. Know that putting in that work is mental strain, physical strain. You actually have to put forth some energy. Like you can't just sit around and expect things to be done for you. So, hey, salutations. I tip my hat off to both brothers, Jamonte and Leon, because they're putting in that
right
work.
Back at you.
You know, hey.
And I want to say this too,
and you know,
right? Because I don't want to be discouraging. I don't want to be discouraging. The amount of work you're going to put in, you're going to see the fruits of your labor. Whatever you sow, you shall also reap. It just means that everything has a season. So hey, sometimes when you're sowing, you're not going to be reaping a whole bunch. And then there's going to be a season of budding when you could just start seeing things start to slowly build up. You're like, I can see this is starting to come. I can see that coming up. You're going to have patience. You're going to have to be persistent. But it can come. It can work. It can come. It can work. And as I say this to you, I say this to myself, because putting in that work, learning how to optimize to make sure you're not spending your time vainly, it's very important. And building an enterprise.
And do it.
Let's address this real quick. Father Black says this was very informative, inspirational, giving me a lot to think about. That's what we're here to do. Put these thoughts on your mental. This is the power of what like-minded brews can do. We can change the trajectory of people's intent by having them raising some good questions, bringing up conversation that's edifying. That's what we're here for. That's what this was all founded off of. This is the Brew Table Talks, where we can all eat that soul food. You feel me? And intellectually, and physically, because it will manifest.
What are we building? Hey, and to say that I feel as though we can speak on this topic of building enterprise, because what we over here doing right now, we over here sharing information, exchanging policies, and saying, hey, school is a business where money is exchanged, where information is gathered. Can we start our own system of gathering information and exchanging for our values and ideals and beliefs, and to inspire each other to be the best that we can be? That's what school is for. And just being able to not only speak about it, but be about it. You know what I do over here, man, the faith and desire attire to say, hey, creating a business, a partnership with having something to offer, having a product, having a service. And so just putting my feet in this system of knowing, hey, we can change it for the better. And once we all look at it and say, we all need to work together. We all need to make sure that we're adding a brick onto this foundation to create this kingdom.
Thanks. Shalom, family. Shalom, family. It's good to see you guys coming in. You're coming in on the later end of the stream. But hey, if you have any questions on enterprise, on how we build, most definitely. All right, let's address this real quick. If this person is asking you to do something that you do not want to do, you tell them no. And that's not what I stand on. Point blank, period. And hey, if they persist, you cut them off. Cut off all connections. Psalms 1, if I'm correct, says we do not stand with the scoffers. We do not stand. You know what? Let's bring it out. Let's bring it out. Because that's very important dealing with enterprise. If you don't want to be associated with these people, you don't entertain them in the slightest. Right? So I want to take this down real quick. I'm going to share my screen with you guys, because this is just, like I said, we come here to build. There's questions, let there be an answer, right? It says Psalms 1, blessed is the man that walk not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stand in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doeth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bring forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he do shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor the sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For Yah knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. Simple. You cut them off. You don't stand with them. That's it. Straight up. They don't take the hint. You be like, nah, man. Straight up. I ain't with it. That's not what I'm doing. Don't have me self-degradate myself for your benefit. I ain't with it. That's not how I run my enterprise. The Most High ain't with that. I'm his agent. I'm a part of his agency. I'm his ambassador. So I'm happy to see that I was able to answer that question. But yeah, no, that's how you nip that straight in the bud. No malpractice dealing with your enterprise, your brand. And remember, your brand, your enterprise is your reputation as well. When you say that I represent this Bible, that's an enterprise. That's a brand. That's why it says that we're supposed to have our thoughts perpetually turned to the Most High, because we're supposed to reflect his essence. So we need to make sure we know those principles. We need to know the code of conduct of this business. It's important. It's important. Bring it out, huh? Bring out that faith.
Hey, you hit it right on the head, brother. And I felt like Ruby was touching on something that I personally was dealing with over here in this community in Chicago. Is like being a designer, being a fashion designer at that. There's only certain images that people kind of gravitate towards. There's only certain type of depictions and words that people literally say, hey, you should make this. And it's like, I don't stand for that. You know, I stand for faith and desire. I stand for putting us in a brighter light. I stand for artwork that's actually of thought and intent and intellectual inspirations. I don't want to wear something that degrades me or my people. Working in fashion stores, I was looking at the clothes and the messages. I was like, I didn't want to design that. I didn't want to use my talents to perpetuate an ideal that we're just lacking intellect and we move on the basis of
impulse.
Exactly. You feel me? So faith and desire, brother. Faith that anything is possible, desire to be extraordinary, dreams do come true. And you know, tapping in with brothers like you has given me more faith to even share, to even actually want to be like, hey, people, look what I do as a business now. Because I was just doing it as a hobby. I was doing it because I was passionate about it. But, you know, as I'm connected with my brothers in the faith, I'm able to say, hey, look at the business that we got. Welcome to Desire Faith, where we desire to be extra than the ordinary in everything we do and work towards it daily, unwavering in faith. And able to create a fashion, you know, able to really be out there and show the people that, hey, we moving in the foundation and having faith in God's word and trusting and believing, knowing that, hey, no matter what we do, use our talents to the best of our abilities. And people gonna come, people gonna support.
And anyone who's interested in that, I'm gonna link it down in the description box so that you guys can definitely get tapped into faith and desire, get some clothes, get some fabrics that has imbued the Ruach inspired and the Holy Spirit, for those who aren't familiar with the word I'm using. That, hey, everything that this person is producing is to magnify and glorify the principles and standards that the divine being, the greatest, the most high, has instructed. He's not doing this for money. He's doing this to spread the message. And if you guys rock with the message, show some support. I want to see some orders in. You get what I mean? I already know I got a few orders on mine that I'm gonna have to tap in with brother soon about. Trust and believe soon, very, very soon in the future, we're gonna have our own Brew Table Talkz. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have our own fabric. This is going to build. This is what building is, and building helps build an empire, an enterprise. That's the whole point of building, to magnify the Most High in our actions. And what's a better way to magnify the Most High in our actions than camaraderie, than working together, and showing these principles and actually acting them out? You know what I mean?
Well said, brother. Well said. Having that partnership with the Most High is the most important one. So it's like, what we're doing as a people. Are we able to support each other? Are we able to encourage each other, motivate each other? And most importantly, are we able to help out? And so you already know behind the scenes, brother, hey, we building this enterprise. We making sure that it reaches the heights that it's supposed to reach.
All the way to the top.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, all right, that's dope. I'm gonna put it in the description box. Don't sweat. And it's also all on Divine Lii's channel, right? We're simulcasting right now, so you're on both channels. We're gonna have another open panel in the very near future, and we got something planned for you guys who want to come up, and ladies who want to come up and speak about the topics that we had on mind. We got something for y'all that we can continue to keep building. Keep your eyes peeled. I'll keep you guys posted. We will keep you guys posted on when that's coming in the near future. Coming in the near future.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Actually, talking about panels, we're going to be on a panel later today on Raul on the 7 Talk around 7 p.m. Eastern time. And there's going to be a lot of brothers in there. New Breed's supposed to be there. Rango is supposed to be there. Rollo's supposed to be there. And we have a few other guests that's going to be on there as well. It's going to be pivotal on how we move forward in building enterprise. So it's actually very interesting that you brought that up.
Big buildings, great partnerships. Hey, we over here exchanging information based off of our passion. So it's like you able to digest it and see really the fire behind us even doing this. And it's like that's what makes us more connected. That's what makes us actually want to move in a spirit of cooperation when we know that the person that's actually in the business has some type of spirit behind it, you know? So hey,
every business has a spirit. What spirit is it though?
Hey, for real.
I mean, not to sidetrack, but y'all saw what they was doing with the little Nas Johns with the shoes and what have you, and how they had drips of blood in there. They had the pin. Every business has a spirit or a leader. What spirit or leader is it under?
Ooh.
Who's leading? Come on.
Yeah, no.
Be careful out here, man. Be careful what you support. I want to know the source for me. I want to know where everything's coming from. I want to know the people that I'm building with, the people that I'm sewing into, that they have good practices. Everything is kosher. Everything is law-abiding. Everything is moral. And it's sad to say that I can't even say that for 90% of the stuff that we consume on a daily basis. Their enterprise is faulty, and that's only because they have a monopoly. Now it's time to take it all back. Take it all back. So, anything else you wanted to bring out, brother?
Man, I just want to say, stay inspired, keep encouraged in whatever way, walk, and whatever position you are in fulfilling your business. Just keep your head up and stay surrounded by people who actually support you. And then just wait for your time. And always say, hey, faith that anything is possible. Having faith in God, having trust in God, that business will expand. So as you expanding your business, get closer in the word. Make sure that that partnership there with God is strong, so that when that wind does come, your structure not falling down, you're able to stand up straight.
Definitely. And I gotta say, guys, enterprise is what you make it. It could be with the Most High or without the Most High. And when the storm comes, depending on where you found your strength, depends on where you're going to be left. Be the house on the hill. Be the one that has good intentions. Be the one who has a good reputation. Because even if your business crumbled, you can say, I did it the right way. I did not fold. I was a person of character. And that shall not go missed. There's plenty of people who reach out to other people who have had businesses who are no longer dealing with the business because of the practices that they did. So with that being said, I'm happy you was able to catch the live, brother. It's at the end. That was my last sentiments. I want to say peace and blessings to the whole family. Let this word not fall on deaf ears and go out and execute. That being said, all praises to the Most High.
All praises, all praises. Peace.